Good evening, Blues. Everton have sold Amadou Onana to Aston Villa for £50 million plus add-ons, and I believe the fee can rise to 55 million. And there is also a sell-on clause, 10% of the profits. Sorry about that. Was just trying to get some more statistics up. So it is 50 million plus add-ons, 5 million in add-ons, and the sell-on fee is apparently 10% of anything over in terms of the profit. So not the biggest sell-on fee, and you can definitely see him moving on. I think he's a very ambitious player. I think it's a sensible move for him in terms of he gets to play Champions League football next season, so you can't blame him for that. Also, in a very good side, very settled side where it plays attacking football, and he can focus on his job, which is to be a very good defensive midfielder and win the ball back and give it to the more attacking players. So I think he'll suit the Villa system. He also will earn over 100 grand a week, so you can't blame him. So he's going to earn more money, play for a team that plays better football in the Champions League. So it's a no-brainer. And I think furthermore for him, it doesn't pigeonhole any future moves. So he could eventually move on to Man City, United, Chelsea. He could go anywhere because Aston Villa don't really have traditional rival in the Premier League. So I think if he'd have gone somewhere like United, if United struggle, then he can't exactly go to City, can't exactly go to Arsenal. I think there's big rivalries there. So I think it's a no-brainer for him. From an Everton fan's perspective, I'm disappointed. I know he seems to be quite of a Marmite player, but for me, I think, I don't know how you can not like this guy. His attitude's very good. He's got the physical stature, 6'5", technically very good, wins all the duels uh, in the air and on the ground, tackles well. His distribution's more than good enough for the position he's playing in. He's athletic. I think he'll be a big loss for us. I know a lot of criticism goes his way because he seems to be, he's called a cheerleader, but I think he likes Goodison Park. He's very passionate, and I think he's faced a little bit of unfair scrutinism from some fans because some of them say, "Oh, because he doesn't meet the eye test or he's not good enough." I disagree. I think he's unfairly judged. I think people expecting him to suddenly be able to go past. I mean, I get this. I think he's more than capable of carrying the ball, running past players because of his size and athleticism and his technical quality. So yeah, I think we would have liked to have seen him break through lines and pick up the ball and carry it and be a real threat on the counter attack as well. But it's just not the style that he plays under Everton. I think he had the shackles on him. He was told to be disciplined in that defensive role, and I think the shackles will come off at Villa. He'll have a little bit more freedom with the style of play that they have, and being very possession based. But so from that perspective, I can certainly agree that you could see more, you could ask for more from him. But at the same time, I think he's unfairly judged. I think fans expect him to be making assists and getting goals, and that's just not his game. When have we ever judged Idrissa Gana Gueye on his attacking quality? If he was judged on his attacking quality, apart from a few games at the end of last season, he'd have been binned off ages ago. He's a defensive midfielder. He's a very good defensive midfielder. He's only going to get better. He's 22 years of age. He could have 10, 11, 12 years at the top of the game. And I think Aston Villa have got a great player. He's going to suit them. It's a no-brainer for the player, no-brainer for Villa. It's disappointing for Everton. But how can we then invest this money? How can we then um, make it work for us? Because you could say at the moment it doesn't work for us. There's no benefit. You've sold a very good player, and the squad is weaker. The squad is very, very unbalanced at the moment. You've got several forwards, loads of number 10s, no wingers, no full backs at right back that actually look like an attack. No one beyond the initial two centre halves in terms of squad depth. So it's a lot for me to talk about and digest there with that. And I hope that gets corrected. But correcting it is what we need to do. And we have to use the Onana money to do so. So we can make the deal work for us if we now go and invest that money and put it into the right players. I hope we've actually got a lot of that money up front, or if not all. It wouldn't surprise me if we haven't, because this is Everton and we negotiate terribly. But now go and sign a winger, a right-sided winger as priority, someone who'll go past the player, get the ball into the box, and can score goals. If there's more money in there, and of course, this actually has to happen, another defensive midfielder, because you can't leave us with a 35-year-old Idrissa Gana Gueye and James Garner, who was poor at times last season, as the only defensive midfield options with experience. So um, we need an outstanding defensive midfielder to come in to allow us to maintain that defensive record for this season, and then go and supplement that side with attacking players who are going to score and assist. I think it's very complicated for Everton at the moment, because you could argue that we could get rid of both strikers, even all three of them, Neil Maupay, Calvert-Lewin and Beto, and go and get one striker who scores goals. I can't see us doing that. I think it would be too complicated. So look, what can we do? Well, we can get a couple of wingers in, a right winger, central defensive midfielder, and if there's even more money, then I'd like to see us go and improve at right back. Because I think when you look at that Chambers Coleman documentary, you'll see what a good player he was in his prime. 2010, 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, probably coming to the end of that 16, 17. But he was one of the best right backs in Europe, and what we've been treated to since then hasn't been good enough. We've tried the likes of Jibril Sidibe. I can't even remember now. Mason Holgate's played right back a little bit. You know, we've suffered. It's not as good. We've got better expectations. When you've been given something and you've seen something do really well, and then you have something worse, you naturally long for what you've lost. And I think at right back we haven't replaced Coleman with a player with that dynamism. Bear with me one sec. I'm going to sneeze. They come in twos, so there might be another one. With that dynamism and quality and ability to get up and down the pitch. So, yeah, it's a big week. I want to see movement. I want to see players coming in. Feel very flat. I'm very frustrated with Everton at the moment. Takeover collapsing. The Sligo Rovers games was a bit of a disappointment. The state of the squad, losing your best players. And I bought the Everton Pro kit, and then I saw Idrissa Gana Gueye lost his badge in the Sligo game. And I did a little video. Sorry, I didn't actually post it online. It was private, but this is more of a natural royal blue colour. So if you look compared to last season's kit, which was more of a petrol blue, I think this is more of an authentic Everton blue. So I do like it, and I've gone for the Pro because it is nice and lightweight for playing sports and for wearing for the channel. Not too thick and sticky, really. I'm just going to look at the comments. Let us know your thoughts on Amadou Onana, and if you're, of course, new here, make sure you are subscribed. Don't be watching our content if you can't be bothered to subscribe. That's what I say. Peter Duggan, better to sell Onana than Branthwaite, but I agree. We have to see. Let's hope he can get someone in. Barry's obviously happy. He thinks it's a cheerleader. Disagree with you there, respectfully, Barry. But 50 million is a lot of money. Although, as Stu is saying, 20% of the profits go to Leo. That is around 3.4 million. So we'll only pocket around 17 million profit on him. Calvin Phillips on loan, not for me. I think he didn't cut it at West Ham or City. I think it's a massive, massive risk to replace Amadou Onana with Calvin Phillips. Eugene say one about James. I can't see that happening. I don't see why we'd go for another number 10. And I think on the right, I think Harrison's got a bit more mobility about him. He can't pass a ball in comparison, no Harrison. I just don't see it, Eugene, but I wouldn't be against it at all. Steve said he wasn't a fan of Onana. The people that say this to me make me laugh, Steve, with all due respect, because I remember what we had before. I remember Tom Davis playing central midfield. I remember Gylfi Sigurdsson having to play in central midfield deep because we were struggling. Andre Gomez, who flattered to deceive for so long in his Everton career. Alan, who was bypassed, dribbled past constantly, and really didn't cement himself as the player he was at Napoli. So when I look at Onana, I think, he was just a different level in terms of defensive midfielder compared to what we've had. I really do believe that. Aussie Chris is saying a few moments where he converted in set plays. Yes, he scored a few goals from set pieces, but he didn't quite dominate them as well as I think a lot of fans were expecting. So this is just a quick video. I've already done a video on Onana from a week or so ago, which got nearly 4,000 or 5,000 views. So I've already talked a lot in depth about him. I am in the slightly disappointed camp. However, I can become in the more positive camp, providing he is replaced and the money is used to improve the squad in the areas where we were horrifically weak, i.e., right back, backup centre half, and on the wings. Nice to see you all. Thank you, Martin, for your comment. He calls him a fraud, but he's going to Villa to play Champions League football for major money. I think it's a bit harsh. Make sure you smash the like button, and we'll hopefully have some content soon. Maybe Aussie Chris in the comments there will go and do a video, his separate reaction in a few minutes. We'll never know. See you soon.